Hey guys, Tactical. So, today I wanted to talk about goodbyes, hellos, and re-immigrating into a family life that you might have left behind. And I'm not even going to talk about the social life aspect of things, but I'll get to that at the end. But the last base I worked on, there were a lot of TCNs. And most of them were either Jamaican or Filipino, and when those guys work there, like, it's 20, 30 years usually. Most of them have been there at least 5 or 6, so they don't really cycle out like military guys do. So with the military, you get pretty accustomed to saying goodbye to people. So when I left, a lot of the military guys I knew, it was like, alright, nice working with you, blah blah blah, and you move on. A lot of the TCNs, and you might have this with some of the locals, wherever you are, that you've become friends with, that aren't accustomed to having people cycle through so often, might be a little bit more of a difficult situation for them. But anyway, that was what it was. But hellos, my first, I managed to time it because of the way, coming back from overseas, to where I flew back stateside on a Friday, stayed in a hotel, and then flew back home on Saturday. And I really kind of needed that extra night, getting everything taken care of to leave, getting back to the States, and having a night to finish finalizing travel arrangements, and then just check into the hotel room and just relax and be by myself, collect my thoughts, and go from there. So it was a nice chance to let my brain do a hard reset, process all the information it needed to, and then start meeting up with the family the next day. And I didn't tell anybody that I was coming back early because I was supposed to come back in June. So I set it up with my brother-in-law to surprise pretty much everybody. So first, my nephew had a baseball game, so I got to surprise a bunch of my nieces and nephews at that. And then my brother-in-law took me back to my parents' house, who just so happened to not be home when we got back. So my sister texted them, and then we were able to surprise them. Pretty much reactions I anticipated. My mother almost cried, and my dad was like, "Oh." That's pretty much the reaction I expected there. But anyway, kind of the big part for me, especially if you've been in for 4 years, it might not be that much of an issue coming home. But for somebody who's been in as long as I have, it's kind of, I guess you could say, a major cultural shift to come back and be in this family environment that I haven't been in for almost 2 decades. So I'm pretty much accustomed to go to work my ass off, get off of work, take an hour or two to kind of reset my brain, make dinner, eat dinner, and then start working on whatever else I've got to do for that day. And then I'll do that until about an hour or two before I go to bed, or until I'm so mentally exhausted I can't do it anymore, and then just wind down for the rest of the night. But coming back home, I'm not going to say something that I'm not completely unaccustomed to, but it's trying to go back to a world that I haven't been in for a while. So it's eat dinner, and then sit around and talk, and then maybe throw a TV show on, or they might want to play a board game or something, and then sit around and talk for a little while, and eventually people start going to bed. It's just something that I'm not accustomed to doing, especially the sit around part, whether it's sitting around and talking or sitting around and watching a TV show or whatever. I'm just not used to the sit around thing. And there is a certain level that it is nice for at least a couple of days to just not have to worry about doing anything. So I've taken a little bit of advantage of that just to take the time and just sit around and talk to family. But that is another aspect of it that, I haven't been here for almost 2 decades. So, they'll start talking about, well, so-and-so did this and blah, blah, blah. And then so-and-so showed up, and then these people showed up and they said this. And it's like, I don't know any of these people. Like, there's a couple of people around that I knew growing up, but most of the people that they know nowadays, I have no clue who these people are. So, like, I have nothing to contribute to the conversation. And even to the aspect of, like, they'll call me and be like, hey, do you want to meet us over here for lunch or dinner or whatever? And it's like, sure, where is it? Well, it's over by this place. I have no idea where that place is. So, it's like, I haven't lived here for so long that it's just like, I don't know where anything is anymore. I mean, I know where the Walmart is because it's in the same place it's always been, but a lot of these newer restaurants, I mean, there could have been 10 different restaurants in that building in between the time I left and the time I got back. So even a lot of just the local culture, I'm just completely unfamiliar with. So it's something that I think you should be mentally prepared for. I knew coming in, coming into this and coming home, that was going to kind of be a thing between the sitting around, not used to what I'm being, and then listening to conversations that I have no clue what they're talking about. So, I've been kind of occupying a little, and the dog's just alerted to something. Anyway, but I just completely lost my train of thought. Oh, keeping myself occupied, yes. So I've been finding a couple of different things, hitting some stores that I haven't had access to, looking for a couple of things that I need, that type of thing, to kind of occupy my time a little bit. And then, I'm getting ready to gear up because I'm making a trip to Tennessee, so I'm starting to kind of prep for that a little bit. So just finding things to kind of occupy your time and try to kind of reestablish a routine, which is something that I'm going to be trying to do tomorrow because I need to. I haven't started that yet. It's something that I planned on doing, so tomorrow I'm actually going to try to get up and start an actual routine and somewhat of a planned out day. So anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on that. The next video I plan on doing for Culture Clash is going to be reintegrating into society, which is going to be interesting. Let's just say I made a trip to Walmart. So anyway, till next time, guys. Bye.